All right, shalom to the elect of Israel. I want to start by giving all the praises, honor, and glory to whom it rightfully belongs, which is Yahweh, Bahashim Yahweh Shai, Bahashim Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone that rule well. Peace, blessings, and salutations to the elect of Israel. And this lesson is going into basically how it's going to be a bumpy ride on the way up out of Babylon, man. You know, this last final harsh captivity that we going through as Israelites, before it's over, it's going to be a bumpy ride, man. Okay? Especially here in Babylon the Great, which is America. All right? Because you're going to have all types of turmoil and chaos. Well, let me get the scripture. It's the book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 15, verse 5. Behold, saith the Lord, I will bring plagues upon the world, the sword, famine, death, and destruction. Okay? So this is what the Lord is bringing on the world, and these things are here, but they're going to increase. You know, it's not talks of, it's not, it's not, talks of peace or nothing like that. The Lord said He's bringing death, destruction, famine, and the sword. All right, upon this world, upon these people of this world. Okay, because ultimately these people are wicked. All right, it's a wicked ass place, and the Lord is going to punish this place for all of its wrongdoing, man. Okay, He's going to punish these people for all their wrongdoing. All right, and it's going to be, it's going to be prophecies, right, that have to be fulfilled. There are still certain prophecies have to be fulfilled, but the ones that have yet to be fulfilled are major prophecies. For example, one, all right, being what? Revelation chapter 11 and verse 14. The second woe is past, and behold, the third woe cometh quickly. And the second woe is talking about World War II, and the third woe is talking about World War III. And as I said, it's coming quickly. So World War III is, on its way. Okay, and that's another prophecy that has to be fulfilled before we, it has to be happening before we're, officially out of let me just say that's another prophecy we have to go through. All right, let me just say that. All right, that's another prophecy that has to happen. That's another end time prophecy. World War III. All right. Also, what? The sea hip, Revelation 13, 16 and 17, and He causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads, and that no man might buy or sell, save he that had the mark, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name. All right. So this is another prophecy that has to be fulfilled before we are, and this is going to happen before we are delivered out of America, before Yahweh Shai comes back, okay, and delivers His elect from not only America, but from all over the world, and this is going to be a trying time. That's why it's called the hour of temptation, Revelation 3 and 10. Because thou hast kept the word of my patience, I also will keep thee from the hour of temptation, which shall come upon all the world to try them that dwell upon the earth. So this is going to be not only in America, but across the world. It's going to be a very trying time. Okay? But this has to happen. Another one that has to happen is what? This is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 30 and verse 7. Alas, for that day is great, so that none is like it. It is even the time of Jacob's trouble, but he shall be saved out of it. Okay? Jacob's trouble. That's another major prophecy that has to happen. Okay, and this consists of martial law, people being taken to concentration camps. All right, the MOTB as well. Okay, this consists of Esau coming down with great wrath. All right, this consists of famine and all these different things happening. Okay, this consists of civil unrest. societal and economic collapse. Right? Salakia. All right, but this is what this consists of. This is what Jacob's trouble consists of. It said, and it's going to be so bad, as it says, for that day is great. It's not great in a good way, but great, basically telling you that it's going to be very intense. You know, it's going to be very troublesome. So much to the point that it says, so that none is like it. So that no other time in history is going to be like it. Okay? Or because of how bad it's going to be. It's going to be the worst time to ever come on the earth. Okay? But, Salakia, bear with me 1 second. This is crazy, man. Anyways, you know, this is one of the, bear with me 1 second. Out of everywhere people could come, they come over here. Alright, Salakia. But this is one of the prophecies that have to happen before we're up out of here. You see? You know, Jacob's trouble is the time period that I believe we're in the beginning of now. All right? Lord willing. But, you know, it's going to be a very harsh time. And a lot of people are going to perish during it. All right? But you're going to have this going on. Okay? You know, martial law as well. This is another one, the book of Isaiah 34:16. When we read this, it says, seek ye out of the book of the Lord and read, which is the Bible. All right? And in the Bible, it tells you what's going to happen. It says, no one of these shall fail. None shall want her mate. Meaning none of these prophecies are going to fail, and you can't make this book. You can't make the Bible with any other book. Right? The Bible reigns supreme. It says, for my mouth hath commanded, and his spirit hath gathered them. Okay? So, all of these prophecies, none of them are going to fail. They're all going to happen. You see, and in due time, you know, the Lord is going to bring them to pass. All right? But before we get up out of here, it's going to be a very, you know, bumpy ride, man. Okay? We have the famine of the word to come. That too, Amos 8 and 11. All right? You know, but let me get this. It's the book of 2 Ezra, chapter 4, verse 37. By measure hath he measured the times, he talking about the Lord, and by number hath he numbered the times, and he doth not move nor stir them until the said measure be fulfilled. So the Lord is not going to jump prophecies. There's a pattern he wants them to happen by. You know, for example, we're not going to go from right now, here we are, and then the next day, Yahushua comes back and we're in the kingdom. The chip hasn't even been made mandatory. All right, nuclear war hasn't broke out. Jacob's, you know, we haven't been, you know, in the social, you know, the societal collapse and all of that, of Jacob's trouble and everything. Right? Isaiah 4:1 hasn't officially happened. Okay? So, you know, it's, you know, so the Lord is not just going to jump over prophecy, man. All right? It's going to be a certain sequence of, you know, that the Lord has set up, you know, that these different things are going to happen. But we know for sure that before Yahushua returns, okay, that charagma is going to be made mandatory. All right, and this devil is going to be trying to achieve his NWO. Right? So it's going to be one hell of a ride, man, before we get up out of here. And on that day when Yahushua comes back, man, that day right there, hey, it says to the point to where, let me get this. This is the book of 1 Peter, chapter 4, verse 18. And if the righteous scarcely be saved, where shall the ungodly and the sinner appear? Right? So the scriptures tell you the manner that the righteous is going to be saved and delivered when Yahushua comes back. Scarcely. So basically almost not delivered. You know, but they're going to be delivered. You know, you have brothers that's going to see you might see the nuclear missiles coming. You know, they might get close, but then they get delivered, you know. So it's going to be a very bumpy ride once again. You got a lot of hell about to break loose. A lot, man. All right? You think about, remember, that scripture says, so that none is like it. You think about the different times that, you think about the different bad times this earth has faced in the past. The Bible says that this upcoming time called Jacob's trouble is going to be far worse than any of it. So just imagine what this is going to bring, you know? Another thing, once again, I mentioned this already, but I'm going to get it. This is the book of Revelation, chapter 12 and verse 12. Therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil, which is Esau, the so-called white man, is come down unto you, having great wrath. Okay, having great wrath. All right, and how are they going to come down with this great wrath? By, their martial law. All right, them carting you Israelites off in the concentration camps, FEMA camps and everything. Coming down with that charagma. All right, more draconian laws. You should get familiar with that term if you don't know what draconian laws are. All right, it just basically means harsh laws. All right, which if you break, you receive harsh punishments, probably even death. And as we get closer to the charagma, right? As we get closer to the charagma, which you should know what that means by now, that the chip, as we get closer to it, they're going to come with more stricter and harsher laws with harsher punishments, to the point to where, if you don't take the charagma, you can get beheaded, all right, or put to death. You see? We're already starting to see some of those harsh laws and everything with Trump. Okay? Already starting to see draconian measures and laws with Trump. All right? But things are going to amplify, okay? And this Esau is about to come down with great wrath. And the prophets of the Lord have been telling you this for a long time now, man. But it says, for the devil is come down unto you, having great wrath, because he knoweth that he hath but a short time. You see? So Esau has a short time left in his rulership, right? The scriptures say how he was loosed for a little season. I'll get that. Let me see where my battery is at right now. 5. Okay, good. Revelation 20 and verse 3. Salakia. And it says, and cast him into the bottomless pit, and shut him up, and set a seal upon him, that he should deceive the nations no more, till the 1,000 years should be fulfilled, right? And this is going into when he fell during the ancient Roman Empire, when the Western Roman Empire fell, and then the Middle Ages came. That's when Esau fell out of power for roughly 1,000 years, okay? And then after that came what? It says, and after that he must be loosed a little season. So he came back into power by the Renaissance, which means rebirth, which is the rebirth of Esau's power, all right, into the earth again, okay? And it says, and after that he must be loosed a little season. So this devil ever since the Renaissance, this man has been in power in the earth. He's been ruling over the earth, He's had that power, okay, in the earth, ever since he came back into power by the Renaissance. But now he's coming down to the end of it. You see, as we see certain prophecies getting ready to happen, okay? Prophecies of Yahweh's return. Hey, Yahweh, look, let's get that, man. This is the book of Matthew 24, starting in verse 3. And as he, Yahweh, because when Yahweh comes back, man, he's bringing the kingdom of heaven. That's going to be the end of Esau's rulership, man. Call halal Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh, man. All right, it's going to be over with, man. It's going to be over, this wicked current age that we live in. It's going to be over with when Yahweh comes. It's going to be the end. Like how it says in the end of a movie, the end. Them old school movies, right? But it says, and as he sat upon the Mount of Olives, the disciples came unto him privately, saying, tell us, when shall these things be? And what shall be the sign of thy coming and of the end of the world? And we, as you should know here, a great, as we have shown you here in Great Millstone, that the word world in the Bible, all right, has 3 definitions in the Greek. Cosmos, eon, and oikumene. Cosmos meaning a particular group of something, a particular, society of something. Oikumene being the whole world, and eon meaning a period of time. Okay, so what the disciples asked Yahweh Shai, right, is that, what are going to be the signs of your return, right, and the end of the age, the end of this period of time Esau is in power. Okay, that's what they were asking him, and Yahweh Shai gave them signs, and let's read a little bit, starting in verse 4. And Yahweh Shai answered and said unto them, take heed that no man deceive you, for many shall come in my name, saying, I am the anointed, and shall deceive many. You have, self-proclaimed, so-called self-proclaimed messiahs out there, fake messiahs though. It says, and ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. Okay? And that's what we hear. We hear about wars going on, and we hear about rumors of wars going on, wars being talked about to happen. All right, it says, see that ye be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom. We see that. And there shall be famines and pestilences and earthquakes. There's been a whole lot of earthquakes recently, man. It says in diverse places, in different places around the world. We've seen that you had some in Russia, Hawaii, different places over here in America, Japan, etc. I believe Tibet not too long ago. But when we jump down to verse 14, it says, and this gospel of the kingdom shall be preached in all the world for a witness unto all nations, and then shall the end come. So this truth of Great Millstone, with this doctrine of GMS, will be preached worldwide, which happens by the internet. And after that's done and the elect wake up to the truth, come on a certain level, the end is going to come. See, so this shows you that we're at the end of this man's age, the end of the world, the end of Esau's period of time to rule. You see, we're at the end, and then the prophecies that happen at the end is what? Jacob's trouble, the MOTB, civil unrest, chaos, martial law, right? These different things. Okay, mass death and famine. Okay, and 2nd Ezra 15 and 16 talk about that stuff, man. It's going to be a bumpy ride before we get delivered. Right? And you have to hold on to your faith. As he said, verse 13, but he that shall endure unto the end, the same shall be saved. So he that endures all the way to when Yahweh Shai returns, the same shall be saved. You have to hold on to your faith throughout all of this stuff that comes. Even when we're not preaching anymore, hold on to the faith. And that's another lesson in itself, to prepare, our minds ready for that. Even when the famine of the word comes and we can't preach anymore, upload lessons, hold on to the faith. See, however they do it. Okay, and Apostle Tahar said, we got to make a Odyssey and Rumble account. I got to make a new Odyssey account because I did some before, but I got to make a new one. All right, and make I think maybe another Rumble account if I don't have one already. And Lord willing, I'll put a video up on that. Okay, but before we get up out of here, it's gonna be a bumpy ride, man. Okay, This is Matthew 24 and 32. Now learn a parable of the fig tree. When its branch is yet tender and putteth forth leaves, ye know that summer is nigh. So when you look at a fig tree and you know that, you see it starting to bud, then you know that summer is near. When you start seeing it blossom, the leaves on it and everything blossom, you know that summer is near, right? So likewise, when ye shall see all these things, when you see the prophecies come, know that it, what? Yahweh Shai's return is near, even at the doors. All right? And we know it's near. Habakkuk 2 and 3 says, though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come and it will not tarry. So you got to wait and be patient. But there's prophecies, understand, because we want to get out of here, but understand that there's prophecies that have to happen before Yahweh Shai returns. Okay? And hey, man, the Lord understands, the pain and everything we feeling. Hey, remember, the earth is spinning fast. The Lord made the earth spin faster. Check that out. So that means what? The days are going by quicker. Time is going by quicker. Okay? While, at the job and everything, or, wherever you might be, if it doesn't feel like time is going fast, Even on a plantation, you know, you might not feel like it, but you get out, it's like time go fast, man. It really does, whether you realize it or not. You know, so we're that much closer to getting up out of here. But however long, hold on to the faith, okay? But let me get some of this because it's gonna get real bad, man. This is the book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 5 and verse 1. Now, and we're gonna see all of this chaos come. It says, and by the way, before I get this, actually no, I'll read this first. 2nd Ezra 5 and 1. Nevertheless has come in the tokens, which tokens mean signs. Behold, the days shall come that they which dwell upon earth, these people, right, that we see, right, the people on earth, shall be taken, meaning deleted, in a great number. A lot of people are going to be dropping. It says, and the way of truth shall be hidden, famine of the word, and the land shall be barren of faith. See? You know? Verse 2, but iniquity shall be increased above that which now thou seest, or that thou hast heard long ago. And we see, you know, wickedness getting, you know, increasing. Wickedness is running rampant. You know? You know, so it's, man, you know, this place has just got to go. So you see why the Lord is going to bring the chaos. Because wickedness is increasing. These people out here, you know, wicked, man. You know, and hey, look, that's a lot of people, so that means what? It's going to be a lot of destruction. You see? But if you're of the elect, you don't have to worry about these things. See, now there's the protection. It's only for the elect, though. It's Psalms 91 and 1. He that dwelleth in the secret place of the Most High, the secret place of the Most High is truth. It's like a secret, because not everyone has it. Okay? It says, shall abide under the shadow, which is the protection of the Almighty. I will say of Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai, he is my refuge and my fortress, my power, in him will I trust. See? And that's the attitude the elect are going to have. They're going to trust in Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai, even when everything goes bad out here. All right, but even now, but let me jump down. I wanted to get this. Verse 7, 1,000 shall fall at thy side, and 10,000 at thy right hand, but it shall not come nigh thee. So people are going to be dropping left and right out here. You know, with all the judgments and punishments that's coming on this world that the Lord is sending, right? But it's not going to touch the elect. You're going to have martyrs, but other than that, you know, it's not going to touch the elect. You see, brother, you good, man. You good. You know, you good. But, you know, it's going to be a ride up out of here, man. I wanted to get some in the 2nd Ezra 16 real quick. 2nd Ezra chapter 16, verse 22. Because you know, we know nuclear missiles are going to be shot. 2nd Ezra 16, 12 through 13. The earth quaketh and the foundations thereof. The sea ariseth up with waves from the deep, and the waves of it are troubled, and the fishes thereof also, before the Lord and before the glory of his power. Why? Why is the earth going to shake? Because of the nuclear missiles, you see? So that's another prophecy that has to come. Nuclear missiles. Nuclear destruction. And that's going to be on the day of the Lord, which is going to cause the earth to shake. For strong is his right hand that bendeth the bow. The bow is a nuclear silo, which the nuke sits in. His arrows, which is the nuclear missiles, that he shooteth are sharp, and shall not miss when they begin to be shot into the ends of the world. And that's exactly what those missiles are going to be doing. Okay? Let me jump down, though. So your nuclear missiles is another part of prophecy. 2nd Ezra 16 and 22. For many of them that dwell upon earth shall perish of famine. And this is the prophetical chapter of the last days, you know, in Jacob's trouble. So a lot of people, so this here lets you know that it's going to be a famine. For many of them that dwell upon earth shall perish of famine. So people are going to be dying off of that. And other that escape the hunger shall the sword destroy. People that, you know, don't perish of famine are going to get killed by the sword. Verse 23, and the dead shall be cast out as dung, and there shall be no man to comfort them, for the earth shall be wasted and the cities shall be cast down. The dead shall be cast out as dung. Okay? So you be walking, you're going to find, you know, dead bodies everywhere, you know? All piled up on top of each other. Might find a leg here, a head under a car somewhere, you know? half a torso, maybe on the side of a roof or something, some blood on the car or whatever, with some fingers. Who knows, man? Just wait. Stuff is going to get bad. It's going to be a bumpy ride before we get up out of here, man. But the Lord is going to be with his elect. Remember, the angel of the Lord encampeth round about them that fear him and delivereth them. Many are the afflictions of the righteous, but the Lord delivereth him out of them all. So the elect are good. And it's just going to be a lot of chaos, you see, before we get up out of here. And these people ain't ready for all of this, But nevertheless, you have to hold on to your faith, okay? Let me get this real quick. This is the book of Hebrews, and I'm going to end it with this. Hebrews chapter 10 and verse 35. Cast not away, therefore, your confidence. Don't give up your faith, which hath great recompense of reward. So don't hold on to the faith, man. Hold on to the faith, okay? Hold on to the faith, man. Hold on to the faith, man. All right, Salaki, there's a fox around here. That's crazy. It's a whole fox. But it kind of startled me a little bit. Ain't gonna lie. But hey, man, with that, giving all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh Bahashim Yahushai, Bahashim Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Way Millstone, never well. Peace, blessings, and salutations to the elect. Shalom to the elect.